I can see that this particular Dynasty release is garnering a lot of attention. The name kind of drives at that. Natural Born Killers. I like that energy. I haven't perused the song in depth in terms of understanding maybe its motivation or its lyrical interpretation on narrative, but just knowing the Dynasty flair and how much fun this will be in terms of a heavy metal number, I'm sure that's been the mainstay element for every piece we've consulted with them. It'll be a fun ride. I mean, it's been a self-led journey I've taken tonight. As many of you know, I do that oftentimes with many European talents, especially in fresh regard, but Dynasty, an inevitable name, as I mentioned before, Nils Malin, they're from and being the origin point for me in connection, via Amaranth, or the first ever entrance being with Ad Infinitum via Afterlife. Ever since, I've just been captivated by his vocal prowess and his execution. A powerful singer, and one of, my favorite male vocalists, certainly, not just in European metal, but metal generally. He's just so talented, and again, I love with him in terms of the classic vibe he imbues. I've been noting this in the past, that classic metal feel in terms of like metal history, right? Pieces that were early foundations to us, but became metalheads, earlier on. Or just nostalgic rewind listens from, years past. Even, maybe Ascend Us, right? I have many examples I can think of, at least in that regard. Single-handedly, he's reviving the energy for me in terms of feeling, right? It makes such a unique connection point on delivery. I love Dynasty for that. And just as a strong metal group, their numbers are beautifully presented with a resonance in terms of theme, very relatable messages, down to earth, real human. That's what I appreciate with metal generally. It's part of the reason I push so much into that space. Again, that connection, right? That catharsis. And Dynasty has offered that point of attention if you wish to have it, or if not, it's just been a wonderful entertainment in terms of strong metal. And they have delivered on every piece I've heard on execution. It's been wonderful. And another Swedish talent to add to my long list of growing attributions of groups I favor. And it's been a number. I welcome recommendations down below, perhaps ever names that I have yet to be introduced to. As many of you have been so faithful to provide me so many recommendations, of which Dynasty was one of such standing not long ago. But they were promised again via the connection points. At least I considered it promised. I don't remember if I did at least at one point say that they were coming. But I'm making good on that. Certainly on my ambitions to showcase again another European artist and good art in general within the music space that we can enjoy together in mutual encounterance, right? From whatever angle of approach we take. And familiarized listeners, I know many of you are, of which I'm budding in that, though I'll never have, I'm sure, your level of time spent or ascendancy. I'll always be a little bit behind you, but I appreciate jumping on the Dynasty train for sure. But maybe some of you as well are taking that first approach with me. Maybe you've not yet entertained Dynasty, and we're enjoying it together. I hope for that again. Music offers such a wonderful avenue again to just be impressed by art in a together sense, to experience fellowship, especially where I don't have much of that in my personal life. Again, I love the point of connection that we share amongst many of you in terms of respect for metal, of such high regard, in my opinion. This has just, again, it's such a definitive vision and a fun articulation, real drive and passion delivery. I love Dynasty, a delight to humor. I love the journey I've taken with you thus far in gaining that first introduction. And we're currently sitting around, after a wealth of pieces of experience together, the most recent album, Final Advent, now with Natural Born Killers. Dynasty's always a delight. Let's add on another piece. But man, I'm loving the ride thus far. Again, as I said, classic metal flair. Hear it? If this is a fresh introduction? Mad synth application, like full on almost 80s, 90s. That's great. But it still feels modern. Such a cool hybrid placement. Beautiful vocal execution as always. Those synth drops, that was wonderful. As I said, 80s to 90s effect, oh. Beautiful. This is one of my favorites thus far, for sure. Oh, this is so good. Man. Another testament to why I love European metal. See why? Such an experience. Man. Again, every element here, there's so many throwback elements here and characteristics. I like the Del escape approach there. That's nice. Good pause element. Of course, with the inevitable build. That is so strong, my word. The fluctuations on that. Beautiful. I can't get enough again of those electronic effects. That's beautiful. My word, I love that number. Jeepers. Oh my gosh. One of the best paced, in my opinion. Highly effective on delivery. And again, I talk about a nostalgic effect that I experienced not just with Nils, but with Dynasty generally, to early metal foundations. Don't you just hear that in the synth application, my word. As I keep saying, a particular favorite example of mine in terms of my early foundations, Petra, just to name one. Maybe you could think of others, but like Beat the System, 1985 release. Every time I hear of a synth application, it just reminds me instantaneously of that number. I love it, right? I was introduced to that, of course. Was born in the 90s, so not 80s. I had to learn about that in retrospect, but that one came in my childhood. I've never forgotten about that work. It's still a favorite of mine. And, Petra, if you've never heard of them, I think they might have had wide appeal. I know they were particularly popular in the Christian rock sphere for a number of years. Historical legacy band for sure, but I instantly always think of that number whenever I hear a type of synth dance like that. Those drops and the interludes to the choruses, oh, so welcome. I love the placement there. But just a fun rage, right? Playful energy to the delivery, great execution, beautiful delivery on part of Nils, as always, in terms of vocal inflections, the fluctuations, the softness in terms of the, I think the bridge area, pretty sure. Or working towards that. Yes, the bridge. Soft. Change of mood. Effective transitions. And beautiful video delivery. Again, I love impassioned performances of just being able to have this simulation of sorts of just connecting with a group, right? I've never been, of course, to a show at all live with, well, really any European talents yet. I'm hoping to at least one day. I love being able to connect with an artist if allowed, right? And so many music videos have offered a chance, or an opportunity for just that, whether it be a direct live performance or just a general fun capturing, right? Something a little more methodically planned out, maybe with a generalized story. This kind of has a bit of a loose thread to it, but something, again, of just a performance showcase. I love sensing, again, that devotion and that passion come through. Favorite number thus far, and there's been a good range to spotlight in our journey thus far together with Dynasty, but this is, I think, a superior one of theirs. No wonder it's gotten plenty of attention. It evokes that type of energy. Again, as a classic root, or a classic era rock homage. I don't know if that's what they're necessarily going for, but I would say just an inadvertent coincidence then, but it's a welcome one. Maybe it is methodically thought out. I'm so happy with it. Again, I love a nostalgia fest and a rewind, and with Dynasty, I'm just getting this in ready supply now. I'm enjoying it. Can't get enough. Loving every opportunity. I hope you are too if you're taking this journey with me in terms of first introduction, right? Each piece here, we're enjoying it in fresh company. But again, familiar to me, at least in some regards, yes. Metal fan, metal enthusiast, for sure. Nils fan, oh, absolutely. But getting a wider scope of this artist's talent, or this group's talents, just an individual standing, has been a wonderful ride. I hope you would concur. I know many of you Dynasty fans certainly would. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below, as I always say, in terms of acknowledgement of where you approach in terms of your level of familiarity or lack thereof. I welcome both sides. And your overall thoughts of the piece. Feel free to join in the discussion on it if you wish to. I find it sufficient. One of my top favorites from them, for sure. It's a beast of a metal number. Easily connects in terms of my level of favorability. Easy to approach, easy to get into, fun drive, riveting rhythm. Just sink into it immediately. Top favorite. Certainly on Final Advent, but I would say generally from what I've listened to thus far with Dynasty, I'm glad I happened upon that number. I'm grateful I got to showcase, in the experience of you, perhaps, if that was your first introduction. That's a beautiful metal number. One I won't easily forget about. And that's been the case with a number of Dynasty pieces, but that one specifically I find to be one of their best. Thank you so much for watching this video. Before you bounce, feel free to drop a like and comment, subscribe to this channel with a ding on the bell, and share this video with your friends. And consider checking out the description here. There you'll find links to my other channels, as well as addresses to my other social media accounts and ways you can help support my work if you feel so inclined. May God bless you, and looking forward to when our paths cross again.